Alright, let's get into it. So, Kuro Game put out a new trailer for the gameplay of Wuthering Waves, and it's a little bit of a narrative teaser, I would say, as well, but we're just gonna go into it and kind of like try to dissect a little bit of the art stuff, see what we can find that might not be as good, some stuff that's really good. Of course, we're gonna do some praise and some critique. So, let's just get into it, bro. Let's just get into it.
Will soon be.
Oh, I had the audio muted. Fuck. Okay. Let's full screen this.
One of the Threnodians will soon be reawakened. They are the enemies of human civilizations.
So, something that I notice, at least from a narrative standpoint, they refer to the... they say the name Threnodians, which is, if you don't know, Threnodians, or at least, what is it? There's another word that's like somewhat similar to that. It's probably a play on words, at least in English. They might have a really good localization team that can actually figure that stuff out, or it just carries over because they know it throughout, you know, all languages. But either way, Threnodians are usually, it was something about a poem or song or like story, song, whatever, basically for funerals or something that's semblance of death. So interesting, well, not entirely interesting. It's pretty on the nose, I would say, that like Threnodians being some sort of like song of death in a world where we have all of this stuff that's very much based around like songs and sound design and all that stuff, right? Anything that's based around death itself, or like in the theme of funerals or morbid themes, would be something that is the enemy to human civilization. So I feel like there's a good chance that these are just literally like embodiments of death, right? From human civilizations that may have been destroyed. Who knows? I don't know if they manifest after a civilization has been destroyed, or maybe they manifest because they want to destroy a civilization. Who knows? But clearly, the world of Wuthering Waves has a destroyed civilization that we're trying to do something about. So that is something to keep in mind.
To begin with,
that dragon is so cool. That dragon is, I mean, that is probably one of the best dragon designs I have seen in video games as of recent times. Also, very important, I just noticed the dragon itself has tacet marks on its face. So is the dragon something that we'll encounter or have to fight? It seems to be somewhat challenging us, or at least offering a trial of some sort. I don't know. I actually haven't played the closed beta, so if you know what this dragon does, please tell me in the comments. I have no idea.
I heard you've lost your memories.
Standard anime stuff. We lost our memories. We're in a world where we know nothing now, so we're gonna have to learn everything all over again, and that allows the players to project themselves onto the player character, right? It's just the easiest way to do it. There are so many better ways to do it, so I will critique that very tried and tired trope. But, you know, I mean, does that really matter too much if the execution is gonna be like good? We'll have to see.
If all of these have something to do with your
Okay, wait.
I heard you've lost your memories.
Let's just let this play through. Okay, so art direction. Let's talk about this. This is actually something that I feel personally is not as strong as some of the other things that I've seen from Wuthering Waves, just because of like the layout of everything. I mean, this is, don't get me wrong, it's still good. There's a reason why it's in the game. They wouldn't have put it in if it wasn't good, but it's not as strong as other things that I've seen from the same game. So maybe it's just the choice of the camera angle or whatever, but I mean, if you look into, let's say, sceneries from like Genshin right? And again, we're comparing these because we need them to compete. Either way, if you were to sort of compare this to some of the scenery in Genshin Impact, you'll see that like no matter what angle you're looking at this stuff from, it is going to look like a masterwork. So that is something that I would love to see more of in Wuthering Waves. This doesn't really look entirely like a masterwork to me, but that's not to say that it's not good. Again, it's still good, just not entirely like if you were to approach this from, like from this angle, for instance, I don't know, it just doesn't really look all that strong to me. But that being said, this is a very hard sort of aesthetic to nail down, where you have a city that has been fallen but also is completely overgrown in a world that somehow has managed to form mountains around what was clearly a city at one point. I mean, this has to be like hundreds, thousands of years after, maybe even millions, I don't know, in order for terraforming to do that. So it's hard to nail that sort of aesthetic, and I can see why there's a struggle here, especially in this zone. But again, I'll just stop rambling. This is just like, it's still good, not as good as I think it could have been.
Thing to do with your true identity.
I'm just gonna say it, bro. The female Rover is real attractive. Not gonna, like, thighs. Thighs, am I right?
Who exactly are you?
Holy! Okay, hold up. Wait a minute. Now, the female Rover may be attractive, but god damn, look at that. Oh my god. I would take that to dinner. No, this right here, this is what I mean by like masterworks of art. This right here, this is gorgeous. I have no complaints about this. The sort of shape language that I'm finding within this composition, it looks gorgeous. The way that they use the lights to sort of contrast the darker sides of these like fungal growths that are coming out of the sides of this massive stump. At least it looks massive. Now this could be a really close-up shot, but I think that that's probably a structure that you can climb in-game and maybe find some interesting treasures around it and stuff like that. It looks massive because you see other trees around here. Like, yeah, that one is massive. But that also makes me question, how big do the trees actually get in this game, and where is the rest of that tree? Did that get moved somewhere else, or has it fallen behind the scene and we just can't see it from this angle? I have no idea. This as well, very good. Although I wish there was a little bit more of dirtying up the frame. If you've ever heard that term, then you've probably interacted with someone who's been in the art industry. But basically, or not even art industry. Well, let's be honest, creative industries, they're all art. Either way, let's not get into like the philosophical part of this. Basically, it is a film term, it is an animation term, it's basically anything that has to do with using a camera. Dirtying up the frame is basically, or anything that has a perspective, like a visual perspective. Dirtying up the frame is literally, you just place objects in the frame to sort of block things out and add depth to the scene. This is a very flat shot where you have like the bridge that's sort of like, at least directing the eyes in a sort of swivel toward the center focus, right? And you have the big moon in the background that's sort of framing it. But yeah, I don't know. I just that's a personal preference of mine. I love when shots like these have a very dirtied up frame. It allows for, I don't know, just a lot more immersiveness. It feels like you're actually in the scene versus just like looking at it like this. I mean, this looks like something I would see out of a concept art book, but it doesn't look like something that I would see in a completed product. So I would say, yeah, this is like, it could use a little bit extra. But that also depends on like what kind of gameplay performance they're going for, right? Because like certain things can really impact performance as well. So I can definitely see why. And this is definitely captured in-game from an actual scene that probably looks way better when you're actually playing instead of having this camera just pan around. But anyway.
Moreover,
Okay, we get to see the traversal stuff, which honestly, I love the traversal of this game. The fact that you can run up walls and that your sprints don't take stamina is immaculate. I absolutely love that, and that is absolutely something that they probably did to one-up Genshin, I'm just gonna be honest, which it's very welcome. I love it. So please don't change it, Kuro Games. I think you've done an amazing job at one-upping Genshin to the point where I'm actually excited to play your game, whereas I haven't touched Genshin in like 4 months. Okay? So
possess a similar ability with the legendary.
actually, it's been longer than 4 months. It's been like 7 months. So in this bit of dialogue, we're talking about the Threnodian again, or a Threnodian. Apparently, we have a similar ability to a legendary hero who once absorbed a Threnodian. Now, here's the interesting thing, because we have this ability to collect echoes, right? Every time, well, not every time, but sometimes when we kill an enemy, they will drop an echo. And I assume that that's the ability that this person is talking about in this scene. They're probably talking about our ability to consume echoes. Which is going to play into why we are the chosen one, I would assume. But in terms of how that works and what we're going to use it for by the end of the story, if we'll ever get there, I'm a little bit traumatized due to Genshin not giving us the main plot at all. Like, it's been a long time since we've actually gotten any sort of major update to what's going on with our sibling in Genshin. Hopefully this one doesn't focus on a lost sibling and it focuses on a story that we can actually progress steadily with every major update. Please give us that. I do not want filler content where we go and ask, oh, what happened to my sister? And then the main character of that quest that we've been playing through for like 4 hours, finally we get to ask them that question and then they're like, oh, what a great question. I don't know. I don't want that. So I'm hoping that this is going to actually deliver on proper story quests that will progress and give us plot, meaningful plot, going forward, even when it's just character quests. Like, I hope that there's at least something. It doesn't always have to progress the plot, but I would love for like there to be some sort of, you know, decent tie-in, right?
Hero who once absorbed Threnidian. Jue prophesized about.
Now, who is Jue? That's what I'm wondering. I don't know who that is. If that person has ever been like revealed in the second closed beta, do let me know in the comments. Again, I'm talking about a lot of this stuff without the knowledge of the closed beta's like actual narrative. I didn't get to experience that. What I did get to experience is watching streamers play the game. And from what I saw, it was looking really good, and all of the problems that a lot of people had, Kuro Games already went and fixed it. So if you don't know about that, watch my previous video, and I'll probably make some shorts about it as well. I'm really going to be covering a lot of Wuthering Waves, okay? But anyway, I do want to know who Jue is, and I don't know if this person on screen is Jue, but we'll see.
Your arrival. After all this effort.
I remember this guy. He was the guy with like the flaming cars or some shit like that, right?
Do you truly want to throw it all away?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is the guy. So, after all I've been through, do you truly want to throw it all away?
Ultimately.
And the Rover seems pretty secure in themselves as he asks them that question. So, I would assume that this is like a sort of inciting incident rather than anything that comes on later. Ooh, excuse me. Wow. I would assume that that moment is some sort of inciting incident where like we're deciding to do something that he's quite opposed to and he's trying to convince us not to do it, but we're already quite sure that that's what we're gonna do, right? I don't know what that thing is, but that is just my assumption from seeing that scene. The tone of it, the way that the Rover looks at him, even though, you know, they're being threatened with that little card thing right next to their throat.
I suppose it is up to you to discover the final definitive answer.
Okay, so right here we get a look at a autonomous boss, but we also get a little bit of a hint that like perhaps you can kind of change how the story goes. You can kind of alter what sort of ending you're gonna get by the end of it. I don't know if that's entirely the case, but I would love for there to actually be a proper choice in this game, whereas you know, in Genshin, there's always the illusion of choice, but every time you do that, then Paimon's like, actually, I don't think that's gonna work. And then you have to like just double back anyway and select the proper answer or the proper choice. So I hope that in this game, if they're gonna give us any sort of illusion of choice, it shouldn't be an illusion. It should probably just be a choice that we can actually do. Even if it's just a minor little tweak to like maybe some dialogue that we experienced during, you know, the story, at least it's something, right? But, you know, I just don't want the Genshin experience. I really don't want that out of this game, and I'm really glad that they at least added a skip story element for a lot of the like secondary quests and stuff like that. I don't think it exists for the main story, but they are working as hard as they can to make the main story as enjoyable as possible so that we don't feel the need to skip it. I really hope that we don't have any sort of like we pick the wrong answer, and then the rover just gives us a Paimon moment. I really don't want that.
For yourself.
No matter what happens, my sword is always yours.
Here you are.
Wow. I wasn't intending to pause on this part, but goodness gracious, that is a woman and a half. Now, okay. I know a lot of people were actually complaining about her character design, but seeing her here, I mean, I have no problem with that, bro. I'm gonna be honest, I have no problem with that character. Wait, what the fuck is that? She has a puppet? I just realized. I was so busy looking at, you know, what I was looking at. I didn't notice the puppet over there. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Besides,
Okay, I like the little smiley face thing that like pops up into frame. That's pretty cool.
not seeing the opponent.
What did we just see? Now hold on now. What did we just see? Sorry, I gotta figure. Holy, okay, yeah, the tacit mark is placed there, guys. That's why we're zoomed in there. It's because of the tacit mark. We have to see that. It's not because of any fan service. Of course not. No, that's not necessary at all.
Height
Jesus Christ.
is the thrill of the game.
Do you want to be the rule-setting shepherd or the rule-breaking black lab? Now, Rover, the story is yours to spin.
Okay. I do find the dialogue here to be a little bit interesting, and honestly, not that good in writing, if I had to be honest. But I mean, this is translated and localized, so whatever that line is like in Japanese, I'm missing out probably. But I'm talking about the line where he says, "Would you rather be the what was it? What did he say?
Or the rule...
I mean, it is specifically this part, the rule-breaking black lamb. Maybe it's the delivery of the line or just the writing. I don't know. It just doesn't really feel very. It doesn't feel cool to hear that, you know. And this game is supposed to kind of feel cool. So when you have a character that's like enunciating themselves like that in a very confident manner, it feels a little bit. I don't know. It feels a little bit out of place when it doesn't hit right. So do you want to be the rule-setting shepherd or the rule-breaking black lamb? I don't know. You could have said something like the rebellious black lamb or something, right? And that just would have kind of fixed that issue. But I don't know. I mean, that's just it just the word count is probably what feels bad about it, because it's just there's so many words that have to come out in that few amount of seconds.
Rule-setting shepherd or the rule-breaking black lab? Now,
Like, do you see what I mean? Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But we'll continue.
Rover, the story is yours to spin.
So this does also sound like the same guy from the beginning, where he's like holding the card next to our neck, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to throw it all away?" So this is where he's like giving us a choice. Again, I'm pretty sure it's the inciting incident where he's just like, "Okay, you make a choice here. Either you oppose me or you don't." And I think probably what we'll end up choosing is to oppose him. That's just my assumption. He'll probably become like the main antagonist for at least the first plot or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It was just that one line felt a little bit poorly written to me. But it is, again, translated, and a lot of things get lost in translation. A lot of people don't believe this, but when you have people translating something and they're not writers, it's not going to come out as strong as when a writer would actually do it. So in some cases with localization, you'll have things like manga or anime or whatever the case may be, and they'll be trying to translate the core meaning of what the words are saying from a certain scene, and it won't really transfer over in terms of the amount of impact or how it feels to hear it. It just doesn't sound right, and that's something that you'll actually experience quite a lot, especially in anime, because it's always being, translated over from Japanese, and there are a lot of very specific nuances in Japanese that don't really carry over to English in terms of getting the wording right or matching up the lip syncing to a certain word. So it's very difficult, and I can understand where those struggles come in and why it just has to happen sometimes. But I don't know. We'll see how it's handled. That is a little bit of a concern of mine, is just like, how is the dialogue going to feel in certain scenes because of that localization issue. But aside from that, I'm happy that they're actually putting together and putting the time to actually get English dub and properly, flesh out their English subtitles and everything. And they're really working hard to improve localization, because there were a lot of complaints about that in the closed beta test, not just for English, it was in other languages too. They had a lot of grammar mistakes or just straight up misspellings that made it into the game, and people definitely made some noise about it, and I'm glad that they did, because Kuro Game has been really jumping on it and trying to fix all of that. Anyway, in terms of the art of this, and just a few frames back and we would have seen ass and thigh. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited for this game. I'm excited for the ecosystem, because they are actually improving that, and I'm looking forward to what they're going to do with it. Again, the game is releasing on May 22nd, which is going to be awesome, especially for me, because that gives me a lot of content leading up to the Elden Ring DLC. I'll be playing that as well. If you enjoyed the video, maybe consider subscribing. I'm a professional artist. I've worked in the game industry, in animation. I've worked in comics. I have done pretty much everything from character design, environment design, prop design, just whatever. So I have a lot of industry experience. This is what I do. I just talk about art stuff. And I theorize as much as possible. And I also am horrendously down bad for anime characters, and I will die on that hill. I don't care. I'm shameless. Anyway, take care. Have a good time zone. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Definitely go and, check out the Twitch stream sometimes. I don't stream very consistently, but, I do. I'm also an art teacher, so check the description for links to that stuff if you are interested in learning art yourself. That's all from me. Take care. Have a good time zone, and yeah, I'll see you on the next video.